Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump's campaign says he is safe after an incident in which two people exchanged gunfire outside his Florida golf club. The Secret Service has said in a statement that it's working in conjunction with the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office to investigate a protective incident involving former President Donald Trump that occurred shortly before 2 p.m. And for more on this, we're now joined by SABC International News editor Sophie Mokoena, and she joins us now via our telephone line. Sophie, thank you so much for your time this evening. Of course, looking at what has transpired in the U.S., tell us, what do we know so far about that incident?
Well, we are told that there was a shooting in the vicinity where Donald Trump was. You know that he really liked to play golf in the afternoon with friends, and apparently this was one of those moments where he was going to play golf in Palm Beach, and you know that this is in Florida, his golf course, and there were gunshots heard in the vicinity, and the Secret Service was quick to apprehend one person, and I think as we speak now, they are trying to make sense of what transpired and who was behind this. We are told that there was a gun that was found in the vicinity similar to an AK-47, but remember, investigations are still being done. As you know, that AK-47 is not used in the United States of America. This is a weapon by the Russians, and therefore I think it's almost like a replica or similar gun, and they are going to investigate this. We expect the Secret Service to hold a media briefing any time from now, and I think they will share some light, but it won't be much, as you know that proper investigations must be done.
And Sophie, one would say that, we cannot ignore that it seems as if there is a trend here. Not so long ago, we saw another attempt there to assassinate the former U.S. president. Would you say that it seems as if there is a trend and there is something here?
Yes, there is a trend. You know that around the world you have people who really believe in what they believe in, particularly when you look at the global politics around the world, almost like the fundamentalists, people who would hate a particular ideology to an extent that they can do things similar to this. And therefore, it's not surprising that now this is a second incident, and that speaks to there is something happening. There might be a possibility that there's a movement that is really, really against Donald Trump. And instead of using the ballot, they want to resort to this. And at times, you'll find that it's people with certain fundamental beliefs or with particular influence, and therefore I think we'll get a better information as soon as the Secret Service has done its proper investigations, and I think the FBI will have to join the law enforcement agencies in Palm Beach to really get to the bottom of this issue. We know that both President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris have been briefed, and in her the Vice President of the United States of America, Kamala Harris, has condemned the incident, saying that violence has no place in the United States of America. And I think we are still waiting to hear from Trump. The office and those around him pointed out that he's safe, and there was a quick move to ensure that he was taken to a safe place, and therefore he is safe now. But I think all eyes are now on the U.S. Secret Service, perhaps to share some light, and also perhaps the FBI and other law enforcement agencies in the United States of America to do the work and give better information, particularly because we are told that one person was apprehended. So we don't know whether this person was involved in the shooting, or it is the person who actually started this, or it's someone who was in the area. But also they will have to go back to look at cameras because the golf course is having a strong security and there will be cameras around there. And not only today, but go back to perhaps a few days ago to check whether there was no car or person, in terms of scouting the place to prepare for this incident that happened today so that they can have better information. So it will be extensive and thorough investigations, particularly because you're now counting almost a few weeks to the elections in that country, and that becomes a real problem.
And Sophie, I was coming exactly to that. I mean, it's just a few weeks to go until the Americans go to the polls. And of course, while there are some who are for Trump, there are also those who are opposed to him. So can we read the situation and see it as, some sort of play in terms of what we can expect later this year, attributing this, to the elections which are yet to take place?
Well, clearly it has to do with elections and the possibility of Trump's presidency again in the United States of America. But I think when all investigations have been concluded, including the incident that happened in July in Pennsylvania at that rally, I think we have to wait and see what is the final verdict in terms of the outcome of that investigation. But I think it has got to do with politics and some people in the United States of America having a different view and understanding in terms of where America is and perhaps the future in that country. But also the problem with the United States of America, it's the proliferation of guns. Anyone, anyway, you are able to have access to a gun, and therefore that is why some of the issues that are key in the minds of the Americans is issues related to safety and security, including the guns, the proliferation of guns in that country. And I think this is something that has confirmed the argument that something must be done, because it is so easy to have an access to a gun, and therefore people are carrying guns all over the United States of America, licensed guns, but some of them are quite dangerous, and some people who you can take a gun in a house even though you are not licensed, and therefore this is something that's going to dominate the elections also. But you'd recall after that incident, what is strange for me is that on Friday, if my memory serves me well, Melania Trump, the former First Lady, issued a long statement complaining that people have forgotten what happened in July, that assassination attempt on Trump, and they are not saying anything. And you'd recall that that led to the support being strong and in support of Donald Trump. Now this incident again, it's not clear what's going to happen in terms of what will be the views of the Americans, or it will again remind Americans of what transpired in July, and that may lead to numbers going up.
All right, Sophie, thank you so much for that update. That's our international news editor there, Sophie Mokoena, saying that it is said that Donald Trump is in a safe place following that incident. And we do understand that the Secret Service will hold a media briefing to provide further additional details.